The final trial of the Nag anti-tank guided missile was conducted today at the Pokhran firing ranges in Rajasthan, which is considered to be one of the most important updates for today. Over the last 1.5 months, the Defense Research and Development Organization has conducted at least 12 tests of missiles or systems for these missiles belonging to a vast spectrum of ranges and purposes. Some more tests are said to be in the pipeline. These tests have taken place at the time when there is an ongoing standoff between the Indian and Chinese forces along the line of actual control in the Ladakh region. A look at the arguably one of the most action-packed times for the DRDO, what goes into conducting these tests, what it means in the terms of the strategic positioning in the context of the standoff along the line of actual control, and how the COVID-19 restrictions played an important role in it. What are all those 12 important missile tests are conducted by the DRDO? Each and every important issue will be explained today by SSB Crack Exams. Hello and welcome back to another interesting session of the defense updates of 22nd of October provided by SSB Crack Exams. I highly welcome you all for this particular update. SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. If in case you are preparing for various defense examinations, I highly recommend you to download and start off with our courses which are provided in the case of the context of examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army and Central Armed Police Forces Assistant Commandant's examination. You can even follow us on all sort of social media platforms and stay tuned with us for a very new important updates that are provided by us. So beginning with the question of the day that I have posted on 21st of October 2020, and the question that I asked for you people was, which corps of Indian Army was formed during World War I in Mesopotamia? I repeat the question, which corps of Indian Army was formed during World War I in Mesopotamia? Only two important corps were formed at that time, and they were number 1 corps and the number 3 corps. Okay, both number 1 corps and number 3 corps are considered to be those corps that were formed during the World War I in Mesopotamia. Considering about the number 1 corps, it was formed at the outbreak of the Indian World War I under the title Indian Corps from the troops sent to the Western Front at that time. So at that time, when our country was in the hands of the British, it was happened at that time. They were later withdrawn in December 1915 and they were reconstituted as one Indian Corps in Mesopotamia until the end of the war. Considering the third corps, they are also known as the Spear Corps. They carry their nickname. They were formed during World War I, and prior to their reorganization of the British and Indian forces, it were briefly known as the Tigris Corps. That is it regarding the important update. Now going through with the first and foremost important defense issue is about that today INS Kavaratti has been commissioned into the Indian Navy. This is considered to be a very important one. This is considered to be the last of the 4 indigenously built anti-submarine warfare stealth corvettes. Okay, this is a indigenously built ASW stealth corvette and it is named as INS Kavaratti. All of these 4 indigenously built anti-submarine warfare corvettes are now being taken under the Project 28, and these submarines will be coming under the these stealth corvettes will be coming under the Kamorta class. Okay, so INS Kavaratti is a Kamorta class corvette and it is commissioned into Indian Navy today by the Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Naravane, PVSM, AVSM, SM, VSM, ADC. Okay, so it was now launched and it is commissioned into our Navy at Naval Dockyard Visakhapatnam today. Okay, to get in detail regarding this particular one, this is touted as a potent stealth anti-submarine warfare corvette and it is indigenously designed by Indian Navy's in-house organization which is known as the Directorate of Naval Design, and it is also built by the Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers of Kolkata, and it portrays the growing capability of Indian Navy. To get in also detail that this ship has up to 90% indigenous content. Okay, that means 90% of the capabilities that this particular corvette possesses, all of them are designed and are developed by the Indian GRSC and the Directorate of Naval Development of the Indian Navy, and all of these are the use of the carbon composites are also taken into consideration for the superstructure, and this is considered to be a very appreciable feat that has been achieved in the Indian shipbuilding processes. Kavaratti, it takes her name from erstwhile INS Kavaratti, which was an Arnala class missile corvette. So that was decommissioned in the year of 1971, and during it also participated in the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, and later it was decommissioned, and now this particular new corvette, when it is recommissioned, it is named as INS Kavaratti. This one, the new one, comes under the Kamorta class. The old one which was decommissioned, it was under the Arnala class. That's it regarding the important update regarding INS Kavaratti. Going through with the next important update is about that the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, it deputes its first officer to head the Eastern Command along line of actual control. We already got a new update around a month back that I even provided to you that a new command of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police is going to be established in the Eastern Front. It is going to be established at Guwahati. So it was established to that particular command. The first time an officer is commanded and that particular officer is ADG Amrit Mohan Prasad. Okay, Additional Director General Amrit Mohan Prasad. He is posted as the head of this particular Eastern Command of ITBP, which is located at Guwahati. Okay, now what are the functions of this particular command? And the functions of this command are, it will look after the security and the safety which are in border of the states, which include the states wherein which LAC is mentioned, and those states include Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Assam, with some of the important frontiers of the Itanagar, the northeast, Lucknow northeast, and sectors of Likabali, Tezpur, Dibrugarh, Gangtok, which will be among others. Also, this command is considered to be a very strategic command where it supervises the battalions of ITBP deployed for anti-Naxal operations, which are also there in Chhattisgarh also. So this is considered to be a very important update, and to this particular command of which is located at Guwahati of the ITBP. So who is commanding it? His Additional Director General Amrit Mohan Prasad, whose picture is mentioned here. Going through with the next important update is about the DRDO's flurry of missile tests. This is what I was discussing with you in the introduction session, that DRDO is conducting a lot of important missiles, and we have to understand why is all of these are happening. If we go through in detail regarding the textual pattern that is mentioned here, this is a large spectrum of missiles of different purposes. The types, the ranges are currently being developed primarily for all the three armed forces, that means which include the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force. Some of these systems are at their various stages of development, which include they are under the trials or the validation trials or the usual trials, which also include some of them. If we go through in detail regarding that, the senior DRDO officials, they also mentioned that all of these the timing of these is considered to be very crucial for us, and all of these missiles are being deployed and developed. They are being launched when the situations with the China are not that better considered to the previous years, and all of these tests are considered to be back to back, as a fact of many of these tests are scheduled for earlier this year. Actually, all of these missiles are scheduled to be at a later time, but all of them are deployed and all of them are launched one after the other. The main reason is because in between we got the COVID-19 pandemic and all the important offices of the DRDO were locked down. But now whenever they came back, all the dates were now completely free, and after the lockdown, one after the other, the missile test is being going on, and all of these preparations were all kept in place already. Today, very important update to be considered, as I already mentioned to you, that the anti-tank guided missile, the Nag anti-tank guided missile with a warhead, it was launched today early morning at 6:45 AM at the Pokhran field firing ranges in Rajasthan. If we go through the previous missiles that were tested, and all of these in detail, I will go through from the September. All of these were already discussed in the monthly defense update session. Okay, so the monthly defense current affairs session, in that particular session I discussed each and every important of these missiles in detail, but here I am giving you in a tabular form so that it will be easy and important for you to remember for the upcoming examinations for the CDS, or be it CDS or be it the CAPF examination, which is going to be conducted for the December. For all of those exams, these tabular form will be very, very helpful. So if we go and we start from the September, from 7th of September, we tested the hypersonic technology demonstrator vehicle HSTDV. It was tested at the Wheeler Island in Odisha, and this particular HSTDV, it mentioned that it can travel the 6 times the speed of sound. That means it can travel and can reach up to a Mach number which is greater than or equal to 6. On 22nd of September, 2 important feats were achieved by DRDO. One is a missile and the one is a target. The missile includes the laser-guided anti-tank guided missile ATGM, which was fired from the main battle tank Arjun, and it hit a target of 3 kilometers, and it was done at a field range in Maharashtra. Then comes the Abhyas, which is an high-speed expendable aerial target. This is being used for all the important missiles. So there are 2 demonstrator vehicles were also launched with the Abhyas target, and this target was launched in ITR, the Integrated Test Range in Balasore in Odisha. Coming towards 2 days later, on 24th of September 2020, nuclear-capable Prithvi 2 missile was launched, and it was being conducted. This particular nuclear-capable Prithvi 2 missile was developed by both the Strategic Forces Command of Indian Army and also with the DRDO, and it hit a target at around 400 kilometers. This was also tested at ITR in Odisha. Going through with the next updates after that, after 22nd of September, on 30th of September 2020, we launched the BrahMos land attack cruise missile, which is completely made in India subsystems, and it was indigenous booster, and it also included indigenous airframe section. This was also launched at ITR in Odisha. Going through on 3rd of October 2020, what happened that we launched a Shaurya missile, which is a land-based version of Sagarika missile, or the K-15 we can say. This has a range of 800 kilometers, and it was launched again at ITR in Odisha. Going through on 5th of October 2020, we launched a smart system, also abbreviated with its full form as a supersonic missile assisted release of torpedo, wherein which a torpedo will be assisted by a supersonic missile, wherein which it can reach a lot of important speeds, and it can even improve the ranges and the targets. This was also tested at ITR in Odisha. Going through on 9th of October 2020, 4 days later, the smart system was launched. Rudram was launched by the DRDO. Rudram is India's first indigenous anti-radiation missile. This was developed by DRDO for the Indian Air Force, and it was launched from a Sukhoi Mk1 fighter jet, and it was launched at the Wheeler Island off the coast of Odisha. Coming through the next updates, on 17th of October 2020, the naval version of BrahMos missile was successfully test fired from INS Chennai, and this is a very, very important feat, and it was launched in the Arabian Sea. It also hit a target that was located in the Arabian Sea. This is considered to be an indigenously built stealth destroyer, INS Chennai. So from INS Chennai, this BrahMos was launched, which is the first of its kind of the naval version. Going through on 19th of October 2020, we launched the standoff anti-tank missile, the Sant, which is also launched from the Wheeler Island off the coast of Odisha. Coming up for today, today's important update, as I mentioned, on 22nd of October, on 22nd of October 2020, the Nag anti-tank guided missile was launched with a warhead, and this was tested at the Pokhran field firing ranges in Rajasthan. All of these are considered to be very, very important updates from us. Even in between, on the 17th of October 2020, before that also there was an important missile tested, but that was not successful, and that is why we considered not to show it. But here, if we go through in detail, this would be the 12th update if in case the launches are considered, and if in case the successful launches are considered, today's update would be the 11th one. Going through with the next important update is about the Trump administration and Russia are nearing to freeze the nuclear warheads, extended a new START pact. What is a START pact? The START pact is full formed as a Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. What is this treaty actually, sir? This treaty is, the main reason is both USA and USSR are signing towards themselves that they will not develop and that they will not manufacture more number of nuclear missiles. This is considering the world peace and safety. So regarding that, both the countries on both the sides will agree, they are mutually understood, and the first of its kind, it was signed in the year of 2010. And the deal for it was signed all the way up to the 2020 for 20 years. And now they are discussing about that the deal has completely finished on February of 2020. That means on the February of 2020, the START deal that was signed on 2010 between both US and USSR, it was completely terminated. So after February, both the countries again they met towards each other, and again they sort of, and the Trump administration also on the he also advised and he gave few important talks towards the Vladimir Putin, who is the president of Russia. Putin gave a suggestion that this particular pact to be extended for another 1 year without any restrictions. That means for the next 1 year, he wants to increase his nuclear armheads and treaties. But for that, the Trump administration did not agree. But however, both of them have agreed for the next 1 year, and they have extended that they will freeze on the number of the nuclear warheads on both the sides. Okay, so that means that on both the sides, both of them will agree that they will not develop more number of nuclear missiles, so that they will maintain the world peace and safety. The breakthrough came days after the two sides appeared to have nearly given up on finding a compromise. And as President Trump, he urges his aides to bring him foreign policy wins in the final stretch of the US presidential campaign also. Russia's foreign ministry put forward the proposal Tuesday, and within hours, the State Department of America expressed gratitude for the offer and requested an immediate meeting of the negotiators. Negotiators would still need to work out on a verification system and agree on the definition of a warhead, which are not small details, as said by the executive director of the Arms Control Association. US National Security Advisor Robert C. O'Brien, he responded in a statement that the offer was a non-starter, adding that they hope that Russia will re-evaluate its position before a costly arms race issues. Moscow seemingly acquiesced on Tuesday. The Russian Foreign Ministry said also in a statement that the country proposes extending this new strategic arms reduction treaty for 1 year, and at the same time it stands ready together with the United States to assume a political obligation on freezing a number of the nuclear warheads possessed by the parties for this particular period. Going through with the next important update is regarding that the government is looking at highly confidential China proposal to reduce the tensions in Ladakh. It is also mentioned from the various news resources that China has given its proposals regarding LAC, and it has been taken up by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and all of them are looking after this particular proposal, and they have mentioned that it is considered to be highly confidential one. When asked by the media sources whether are they considering about that to take back all the important military personnel that are there, they did not respond regarding that, and they mentioned that the military deployments will remain as it is, but still the complete details regarding that is still not given. So if we go through that, both the armies that will maintain their status quo in Ladakh, and they also said that the authorities are yet to take a final call on the proposals, but the discussions are still on. And Chinese did not came out with a proposal. It did came out with a proposal during the last military level talks. They were held on 12th of October. However, it is said to be that it is being looked at as said by the sources. Going through to the next and the final important update for today is that about that DRDO is revisiting its manual for India's self-reliant vision, and it facilitates indigenous defense industry. So Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, he has released the Procurement Manual 2020 while he was releasing the new details for the acquisition process by the Defense Ministry. And regarding this particular manual, he even mentioned a lot of important inputs, but still there were a lot of causes regarding the offset details that are being produced by this particular manual, but still all of them are being considered. And the main aim of this particular manual is that it promotes and encourages even more participation by Indian industry. It includes startups and MSMEs, which are also included through research and development to help the self-reliance. All of these are being taken into consideration, and a lot of problems have been taken up by the DRDO, and again they are revisiting this particular manual, and an updated manual will again be provided, and the details regarding that will also be provided from us, from our side, from SSB Crack Exams. Now we will have a very quick review by going through some of the most important questions, and the first and foremost question is INS Kavaratti was commissioned under what particular project? It was commissioned under the Project 28, and it is considered to be the fourth anti-submarine warfare corvette that was commissioned under this particular project. Going through with the next important question is INS Kavaratti comes under which class of warships into Indian Navy? The newly commissioned INS Kavaratti comes under the Kamorta class of Indian Navy, Kamorta class of ASW corvettes. The next question is INS Kavaratti is commissioned into the Indian Navy at which naval dockyard? It was commissioned into the naval dockyard at Visakhapatnam. The next question is INS Kavaratti is commissioned into Indian Navy on what date? It is commissioned on today, that means on 22nd of October 2020. And the next question is India today successfully carried out the final trial of the DRDO developed Nag anti-tank guided missile with a warhead. This test was carried out at what place? It was carried out at the Pokhran field firing ranges in Rajasthan. And the final question is the START Pact is between which two global nations? The START Pact, which is also known as the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, it is signed between USA and USSR. It is extended for the next 1 year, mentioning about freezing the development of nuclear warheads on both the sides. Now we will have the question of the day, and the question of the day for today is which European aircraft company has released its vision of future light combat aircraft on 16th of October 2020. This is regarding a new update, and the question I repeat for you, which European aircraft company has released its vision of future light combat aircraft on 16th of October 2020? The answer for this and the explanation for it I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, always stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams, subscribe to this channel, download our Android app from Google Play Store. Stay safe, stay healthy. Jai Hind.